Mit der Präsidentenwahl am 4. November 2008 haben sich die Amerikaner für einen Neuanfang unter Barack Obama entschieden. Die Politik der letzten 8 Jahre unter Führung des Republikaners George W. Bush wurde abgestraft und Platz geschaffen für einen völlig neuen Wind im Weißen Haus. Dabei unterscheidet sich der Demokrat Barack Obama schon auf den ersten Blick deutlich von seinem Vorgänger. Er ist ein junger afroamerikanischer Mann, dem es vor allem gelungen ist, die bislang politisch eher uninteressierten Bürger zu mobilisieren. Der 1961 geborene Barack Obama studierte Rechtswissenschaften an der Columbia University in New York und der Elite-Hochschule Harvard. Anstatt sich auf eine juristische Karriere zu konzentrieren, engagierte er sich in Chicago in der Gemeinde- und Sozialarbeit. Hier erwachte auch sein politisches Engagement. Schnell gelang es ihm, die Probleme der kleinen Leute zu thematisieren und sich für ihre Interessen einzusetzen. Zwar aus der schwarzen Bürgerrechtsbewegung kommend, vermied es Obama aber stets, nur als Vertreter der farbigen Amerikaner zu gelten. Er wandte sich allen Bevölkerungsgruppen zu und durch seine entschlossene und sympathische Art fand er schnell Anhänger. So wurde er 1996 zum Abgeordneten für den Senat von Illinois gewählt. Hier verfasste er eine Gesetzesinitiative mit, die Hilfen für verarmte Arbeiterfamilien vorsah und arbeitete an einer Vorlage zur Unterstützung von Amerikanern ohne Krankenversicherung, eines der drängendsten Probleme in Amerika überhaupt. Obama engagierte sich auf breiter Linie für die Schwachen und Armen der Gesellschaft, denjenigen, an denen der American Way of Life vorübergegangen war. 1998 wurde er wieder gewählt, unterlag jedoch im Jahre 2000 gegen Mandatsinhaber Rush. 2004 wurde das Schlüsseljahr für den Erfolg Obamas. Er trat an, um für die Demokraten einen Sitz im Senat zu erlangen, was ihm auch gelang. Seine Rede beim Wahlparteitag der Demokraten in Boston, in der er die Einheit Amerikas einforderte, machte ihn mit einem Mal bundesweit bekannt. Er wurde der erfolgreichste politische Aufsteiger und nahm direkt Kurs auf das Weiße Haus. Hier beginnt nun sein Amt am 20. Januar 2009. Zunächst ein kurzer Blick auf die Vereinigten Staaten und ihre Parteien. Die Mehrheit der amerikanischen Bevölkerung hegt einen tief verwurzelten Glauben an die Funktionstüchtigkeit sowie die Selbstheilungskräfte des Marktes. Die freie Marktwirtschaft der USA, die jedem eine Chance gibt und eine Karriere vom Tellerwäscher zum Millionär ermöglicht, ist das Idealbild Amerikas. Nach dieser Sicht behindert der Staat durch seine Bürokratie die Eigeninitiative und schränkt die Freiheit des Individuums ein. Der Lobpreis des freien Unternehmertums und die Skepsis gegenüber staatlichen Eingriffen gehören deshalb zum gebräuchlichen rhetorischen Repertoire der amerikanischen Wirtschaftspolitik. Dass man damit jedoch auch an Grenzen stoßen kann, zeigt die Krise der New Economy sowie die schwere Finanzkrise 2008. Viele sehen jetzt ein, dass es gefährlich sein kann, wenn man die Märkte sich selbst überlässt und gesetzliche Regelungen vermehrt abbaut. Immerhin verfügen die USA mit über 300 Millionen Konsumenten nicht nur über einen riesigen Binnenmarkt, sondern zudem auch über die größte Wirtschaftskraft der Erde. Dass Parteipolitik in den USA einen völlig anderen Stellenwert hat als bei uns in Europa, mag man nunmehr verstehen. In der Verfassung werden Parteien nicht erwähnt. Dennoch haben in der Vergangenheit nur Kandidaten gewonnen, die von einer Partei unterstützt wurden. Einzige Ausnahme der erste Präsident George Washington. Maßgeblich sind die beiden großen Parteien, die Demokraten und die Republikaner. Diese Parteien verfügen über keinen durchorganisierten Parteiapparat. Sie bestehen vielmehr aus unzähligen lokaler Parteikomitees, die sich nur zu Wahlen zu losen Interessenkoalitionen zusammenschließen. Es gibt dementsprechend keine feststehende Hierarchie von Parteifunktionären und Parteiführern. Ebenso gibt es auch kein von Parteitagen genehmigtes, verbindliches Parteiprogramm mit ideologischen Zukunftsperspektiven. Bei den Wahlen stehen aktuelle Probleme zur Diskussion und ihre möglichst pragmatischen Lösungsmöglichkeiten. Schauen wir uns die großen Parteien der Vereinigten Staaten kurz näher an. Die Demokratische Partei ist vor allem von sozialdemokratischen und liberalen Ideen geprägt. Der Staat soll aus demokratischer Sicht stärker für eine soziale Grundversorgung einstehen, toleranter mit Minderheiten umgehen und sich außenpolitisch stärker multilateral ausrichten. Die konservative der beiden großen Parteien, die Republikanische Partei, wird von verschiedenen, teilweise kontroversen Strömungen bestimmt. Unter Präsident George W. Bush wurde sie lange vom neokonservativen Flügel geprägt, der für eine offensive US-Außenpolitik und Regimewechsel in Diktaturen steht. Die Partei ist noch relativ jung, sie wurde erst 1854 gegründet. Mittlerweile hat auch die Green Party, die Grüne Partei der Vereinigten Staaten, an Bedeutung gewonnen. Die Grünen zählen zu den Third Parties, also den drittstärkeren Kräften im Land. Die Grünen treten für eine Dezentralisierung und mehr lokale Autonomie ein. Mit dem Wahlsieg Barack Obamas hat eine amerikanische Erfolgsstory ihren Höhepunkt erreicht. Für uns Europäer ein Beweis dafür, dass in Amerika eben doch alles möglich ist? Die Kindheit von Barack Obama war turbulent. Die Mutter, eine Weiße aus dem ländlichen Kansas, und der Vater, ein Gaststudent aus Kenia, hatten sich beim Studium in Hawaii kennengelernt. 2 Jahre nach Obamas Geburt trennten sie sich. Die Mutter gehörte zum linksalternativen Blumenkindermilieu der 60er Jahre. Obama beschreibt sie als warm und idealistisch. Die Mutter heiratete erneut, diesmal einen Gaststudenten aus Indonesien. Aus dieser Ehe ging Obamas jüngere Schwester hervor. Die Familie zog nach Jakarta, als er 6 Jahre alt war. Mit 10 kam er zurück und wuchs bei den weißen Großeltern in Hawaii auf. Er durchlebte all die Identitäts- und Pubertätskrisen junger Schwarzer, die allzu leicht in jedem Konflikt eine rassistische Diskriminierung wittern. Beide Eltern sind mittlerweile verstorben. Der Vater starb bei einem Autounfall in Kenia, als Barack 21 war, die Mutter an Krebs, da war er 34 Jahre alt. Barack Obama studierte in Kalifornien und New York, zog nach Chicago, wo er Jobprogramme in armen Vierteln organisierte. 1988 lernte er seine heutige Ehefrau Michelle kennen. Er war damals Praktikant in einer Chicagoer Anwaltskanzlei und sie war ihm als Tutorin zugeteilt worden. Michelle Robinson, so ihr Mädchenname, studierte ebenfalls Jura. In verschiedenen Interviews stellten sowohl Michelle als auch Barack Obama den politischen Einfluss Michelles auf ihren Mann heraus. So redigierte Michelle Obama etwa regelmäßig die Reden Baracks und unterstützte ihn als Beraterin in seiner Bewerbung um das Amt des Präsidenten. Barack und Michelle haben 2 Töchter. Barack Obama wurde 1996 mit 35 Jahren in den Senat des Staates Illinois gewählt. 2004 gelang ihm der Sprung in den US-Senat.
Change is what's happening in America.
Es war ein zäher, aber geradliniger Weg, der ihn letztlich über den langen und harten Wahlkampf 2008 ins Weiße Haus führen sollte. Wie gesagt, war das Jahr 2004 für Obama ein entscheidendes Jahr. Während seines Wahlkampfes für den US-Senat hielt Obama eine Grundsatzrede. Diese Rede löste große Begeisterung aus und machte ihn bundesweit bekannt.
Crossroads of a nation, land of Lincoln, let me express my deepest gratitude for the privilege of addressing this convention. Tonight is a particular honor for me because, let's face it, my presence on this stage is pretty unlikely. My father was a foreign student, born and raised in a small village in Kenya. He grew up herding goats, went to school in a tin roof shack. His father, my grandfather, was a cook, a domestic servant to the British. But my grandfather had larger dreams for his son. Through hard work and perseverance, my father got a scholarship to study in a magical place, America, that shone as a beacon of freedom and opportunity to so many who had come before. While studying here, my father met my mother. She was born in a town on the other side of the world, in Kansas. Her father worked on oil rigs and farms through most of the Depression. The day after Pearl Harbor, my grandfather signed up for duty, joined Patton's army, marched across Europe. Back home, my grandmother raised a baby and went to work on a bomber assembly line. After the war, they studied on the GI Bill, bought a house through FHA, and later moved west, all the way to Hawaii in search of opportunity. And they too had big dreams for their daughter. A common dream born of 2 continents. My parents shared not only an improbable love, they shared an abiding faith in the possibilities of this nation. They would give me an African name, Barack, or Blessed, believing that in a tolerant America, your name is no barrier to success. They imagined me going to the best schools in the land, even though they weren't rich, because in a generous America, you don't have to be rich to achieve your potential. They're both passed away now. And yet I know that on this night, they look down on me with great pride. They stand here, and I stand here today, grateful for the diversity of my heritage, aware that my parents' dreams live on in my 2 precious daughters. I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible. Tonight, we gather to affirm the greatness of our nation. Not because of the height of our skyscrapers, or the power of our military, or the size of our economy. Our pride is based on a very simple premise, summed up in a declaration made over 200 years ago. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is the true genius of America. A faith a faith in simple dreams, an insistence on small miracles, that we can tuck in our children at night and know that they are fed and clothed and safe from harm, that we can say what we think, write what we think without hearing a sudden knock on the door, that we can have an idea and start our own business without paying a bribe, that we can participate in the political process without fear of retribution, and that our votes will be counted at least most of the time. This year, in this election, we are called to reaffirm our values and our commitments, to hold them against a hard reality, and see how we're measuring up to the legacy of our forebears and the promise of future generations. And fellow Americans, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, I say to you tonight, we have more work to do. More work to do for the workers I met in Galesburg, Illinois, who are losing their union jobs at the Maytag plant that's moving to Mexico, and now are having to compete with their own children for jobs that pay $7 an hour. More to do for the father that I met who was losing his job and choking back the tears, wondering how he would pay $4,500 a month for the drugs his son needs without the health benefits that he counted on. More to do for the young woman in East St. Louis, and thousands more like her, who has the grades, has the drive, has the will, but doesn't have the money to go to college. Now, don't get me wrong, the people I meet in small towns and big cities, in diners and office parks, they don't expect government to solve all their problems. They know they have to work hard to get ahead, and they want to. Go into the collar counties around Chicago, and people will tell you they don't want their tax money wasted by a welfare agency or by the Pentagon. Go into any inner city neighborhood, and folks will tell you that government alone can't teach our kids to learn. They know that parents have to teach, that children can't achieve unless we raise their expectations and turn off the television sets and eradicate the slander that says a black youth with a book is acting white. They know those things. People don't expect government to solve all their problems. But they sense deep in their bones that with just a slight change in priorities, we can make sure that every child in America has a decent shot at life, and that the doors of opportunity remain open to all. They know we can do better, and they want that choice. You know, a while back, I met a young man named Seamus in a VFW hall in East Moline, Illinois. He was a good-looking kid, 6'2", 6'3", clear-eyed with an easy smile. He told me he joined the Marines and was heading to Iraq the following week. And as I listened to him explain why he'd enlisted, the absolute faith he had in our country and its leaders, his devotion to duty and service, I thought, this young man was all that any of us might ever hope for in a child. But then I asked myself, are we serving Seamus as well as he's serving us? I thought of the 900 men and women, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, friends and neighbors who won't be returning to their own hometowns. I thought of the families I'd met who were struggling to get by without a loved one's full income, or whose loved ones had returned with a limb missing or nerves shattered, but still lacked long-term health benefits because they were reservists. When we send our young men and women into harm's way, we have a solemn obligation not to fudge the numbers or shade the truth about why they are going, to care for their families while they're gone, to tend to the soldiers upon their return, and to never, ever go to war without enough troops to win the war, secure the peace, and earn the respect of the world. It's not enough for just some of us to prosper. For alongside our famous individualism, there's another ingredient in the American saga, a belief that we're all connected as one people. If there is a child on the south side of Chicago who can't read, that matters to me even if it's not my child. If there's a senior citizen somewhere who can't pay for their prescription drugs and having to choose between medicine and the rent, that makes my life poorer, even if it's not my grandparent. If there's an Arab American family being rounded up without benefit of an attorney or due process, that threatens my civil liberties. It is that fundamental belief. It is that fundamental belief, I am my brother's keeper, I am my sister's keeper, that makes this country work. It's what allows us to pursue our individual dreams and yet still come together as one American family. E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Now, even as we speak, there are those who are preparing to divide us. The spin masters, the negative ad peddlers, who embrace the politics of anything goes. Well, I say to them tonight, there is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America. There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. The pundits like to slice and dice our country into red states and blue states. Red states for Republicans, blue states for Democrats. But I've got news for them too. We worship an awesome God in the blue states, and we don't like federal agents poking around in our libraries in the red states. We coach Little League in the blue states, and yes, we've got some gay friends in the red states. There are patriots who opposed the war in Iraq, and there are patriots who supported the war in Iraq. We are one people, all of us pledging allegiance to the Stars and Stripes, all of us defending the United States of America. In the end, that's what this election is about. Do we participate in a politics of cynicism, or do we participate in a politics of hope? I'm not talking about blind optimism here, the almost willful ignorance that thinks unemployment will go away if we just don't think about it, or healthcare crisis will solve itself if we just ignore it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something more substantial. It's the hope of slaves sitting around a fire singing freedom songs. The hope of immigrants setting out for distant shores. The hope of a young naval lieutenant bravely patrolling the Mekong Delta. The hope of a mill worker's son who dares to defy the odds. The hope of a skinny kid with a funny name who believes that America has a place for him too. Hope in the face of difficulty, hope in the face of uncertainty, the audacity of hope. In the end, that is God's greatest gift to us, the bedrock of this nation, a belief in things not seen, a belief that there are better days ahead. I believe that we can give our middle class relief and provide working families with a road to opportunity. I believe we can provide jobs to the jobless, homes to the homeless, and reclaim young people in cities across America from violence and despair. I believe that we have a righteous wind at our backs, and that as we stand on the crossroads of history, we can make the right choices and meet the challenges that face us. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you.
Barack Obama leistete seinen Amtseid für den US-Senat am 4. Januar 2005. Am 10. Februar 2007 verkündete er in Springfield seine Präsidentschaftskandidatur. Der Vorwahlkampf begann und ein parteiinternes Duell mit Hillary Clinton. Am 3. Juni 2008 erreichte Obama die notwendige Zahl von Delegierten, um sich eine Mehrheit für die Nominierung zum Präsidentschaftskandidaten seiner Partei zu sichern. Barack Obama hat eine umfassende Erneuerung der US-amerikanischen Politik angekündigt und will tiefgreifende Reformen durchsetzen. Illegale Einwanderer sollen eine Möglichkeit erhalten, ihren Status zu legalisieren, Arbeit aufzunehmen, Führerscheine zu bekommen und sich in die Gesellschaft zu integrieren. So sollen auch Gastarbeiterprogramme unterstützt werden. Die Wirtschaftspolitik sieht eine konsequente Ausgabenkontrolle und einen ausgeglichenen Staatshaushalt vor. Im Schatten der Finanzkrise und der Rezession in den USA zielt Obamas Wirtschaftspolitik auf eine Verbesserung der wirtschaftlichen Lage der Mittelschicht und der Arbeiterklasse ab. Subventionen für die Ölindustrie und die Raumfahrt sollen gekürzt werden. Regenerative Energien sollen hingegen gefördert und vor allem im Bereich der Bildung soll mehr investiert werden. Die Steuersenkungen der Bush-Administration zugunsten der Wohlhabenden und der Unternehmen sollen auslaufen. Die Kapitalertragssteuer soll auf 28% erhöht werden. Stattdessen sollen Arbeiter, Pensionäre und Hausbesitzer Steuererleichterungen im Volumen von mindestens 85 Milliarden Dollar erhalten. Ebenso soll Amerikas Abhängigkeit vom Öl gebremst werden. Um neue ökologische Energiequellen zu entwickeln, sollen 150 Milliarden Dollar innerhalb der nächsten 10 Jahre investiert werden, auch um dadurch Millionen neue Arbeitsplätze zu schaffen. Der Ölverbrauch soll bis 2030 um mindestens 35% gesenkt werden. Zudem soll ein Emissionshandelssystem mit festen Obergrenzen nach europäischem Vorbild geschaffen werden. Ferner sollen die USA das Kyoto-Protokoll unterzeichnen und sich an der Klimaschutzpolitik der UNO beteiligen. Obama unterstützt die Produktion von Biosprit und betont die Risiken der Atomenergie, schließt den begrenzten Ausbau aber nicht aus. Die entsprechenden Klimaschutzausgaben sollen durch die Versteigerung von Emissionsrechten finanziert werden. Ein zentraler Punkt in Obamas Politik ist die Erneuerung des Gesundheitssystems. Dies machte er auch in zahlreichen Wahlkampfkundgebungen deutlich.
I'm thinking today about my mother. She died of ovarian cancer at the age of 53. She fought valiantly. She endured the pain and chemotherapy with grace and good humor. But I'll never forget how she spent her final months of her life. At a time when she should have been focused on getting well, she was lying in a hospital bed fighting with her insurance company because they didn't want to cover her treatment. So I know something about the heartbreak caused not just by a loved one being sick, but by our broken healthcare system.
My name is Diane Zeller. This is my beautiful champion granddaughter. I live with my children because I can't afford to live on my own. And now I'm faced with a life-threatening disease. I have breast cancer. I cannot afford chemotherapy, and I cannot afford the radiation therapy. It's just, costs more money than I have. So I've made the decision that I'm not going to do it. It's just something I can't afford to do.
I know something about the anxiety of families hanging on by a thread as premiums have doubled these past 8 years. They're going into debt. More than half of all personal bankruptcies caused in part by medical bills. I know about the frustration of nearly 40% of small business owners who can no longer afford to insure their employees.
My name is Steva Stoll-Hardcastle. I'm co-owner of Companion Animal Hospital. As a small business co-owner, one of the problems that we had is providing health insurance for our employees. The husband of one of our employees, who was on our plan, he got ill with leukemia, and unfortunately nothing helped, and Jeff passed away. And that was really, really hard for us because as a hospital we were a family. After that, what we saw though was that our rates really increased. It makes us have to make decisions on who gets raises and how much money we can spend on bringing in new equipment into the hospital. It really is a concern of ours.
I know the outrage we all feel about 45 million Americans who don't have health insurance. Kids who can't see a doctor when they're sick. Parents cutting their pills in half and praying for the best. Folks who wind up in the emergency room in the middle of the night because they've got nowhere else to turn.
My name's Tanya Southard. This is a hospital I work at. I'm sad to say that it's actually going to close down. They cannot afford paying for the health care of patients who do not have insurance. The majority of all of our patients here in the United States that are uninsured is that it's not that they're poor, it's that they aren't wealthy enough to be able to pay for health insurance. And so it's kind of the middle class sect, unfortunately.
Then we'll tell the pharmaceutical companies, thanks, but no thanks for overpriced drugs. Drugs that cost twice as much here as they do in Europe and Canada and Mexico.
Come here, Peanut. My name is Tom Mossholder, and I'm from Oxford, Wisconsin. I actually died on my floor and was resuscitated, and then they got me loaded on the ambulance, and I flatlined again, and I was defribbed back, and was med-flighted to UW Hospital in Madison. Spent 6 or 7 days in ICU and had 2 stents put in, and I'm on about 12 different medications, and one medication, Plavix, was for a weekend supply was $461. The more you need it, the more expensive it is, you know.
Everybody knows that the healthcare system's not working. Now I know at this moment, when we stand in the midst of a serious economic crisis, some might ask, how can we afford to focus on healthcare? The question isn't how we can afford to focus on healthcare. The question is, how can we afford not to? Because in order to fix our economic crisis and rebuild our middle class, we need to fix our healthcare system too.
When Mr. Obama is president, when he becomes president, things change. Then one of the things he promises is that pre-existing is not going to be an issue. And when that happens, then I'll be able to have chemotherapy and radiation, and I'll be okay. It's the only way I can think about it.
And when I heard that Barack was supporting insurance companies not penalizing small groups who had a catastrophic health crisis occur, I said, wonderful. I'm one of those people, and so are my employees. They were hurt by that.
The last thing we needed, our hospitals closing down. What we need is actually hospitals being built that can address our patients that are in need.
I think we need a new direction in our country so that the people who work their whole lives get to enjoy some of the money they work their whole lives for.
It is clear that the time has come right now to solve this problem, to cut healthcare costs for families and businesses and provide affordable, accessible health insurance for every single American. That's one of the reasons that I'm running for President of the United States of America.
you'll go through your remarks. At the end of your remarks, the podium goes down. After a certain amount of time, we'd like the girls to come out.
This is my big speech. You have to come on and say, great job, Mommy.
Here we go.
Yeah, I'm not nervous. No. I was more nervous watching Barack in 2004. Yeah, this I'm not nervous about. Michelle's really good at what she does, so I don't get nervous when she does stuff.
Are you speaking?
Yeah, but I'm not nervous. It'd be different if I had to make a couple of shots while I was out there. Then I'd be nervous. Yes.
Can we do the hydraulic lift? Please.
Whatever your mom says. I need 2 orange tickets.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Stand right in the middle and don't touch the sides. You'll be fine. Have a good ride. And lift up, go.
I think they'll do very well.
You think I'll without me? But I want to see, when I finish, I want to see some pea faces.
Oh, fine.
Because Daddy's not here. So who's going to come give me a hug and say, oh, Mommy, good job?
I will. Because I'm nice.
Because you're nice. A lot of cameras around here. I mean, really.
You all have fun. How about
Thank you. Yeah, just let us know how we can help. Thanks. I will.
Please join me in welcoming an impassioned public servant, a loving daughter, wife, and mother, my little sister, and our nation's next First Lady, Michelle Obama.
It's nerve-wracking.
Since that clear day in February 19 months ago, when with little more than our faith in each other and a hunger for change, we joined my husband Barack Obama on the improbable journey that has led us to this moment. The Barack Obama I know today is the same man I fell in love with 19 years ago. He's the same man who drove me and our new baby daughter home from the hospital 10 years ago this summer, feeling the whole weight of her future in his hands, determined to give her everything he'd struggled so hard for himself, determined to give her something he never had, the affirming embrace of a father's love. They got me running around like that. It's nuts.
Now, I am very honored and thrilled to be introducing to you
the next First Lady of the United States.
My friend, your friend, Michelle Obama.
Thank you. Okay, you guys sit down. Everyone sit down. Relax. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. I should stay here all afternoon, right? Let's just scrap the rest of the day. Thank you for that welcome. I couldn't say there goes Reverend Darrell. Thank you so much. I love you.
Michelle?
Hey!
Oh, what a fabulous shot. Where's your mom, Drew? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's such a beautiful evening, and especially Michelle.
All right, thanks so much. Okay, keep praying. Pray hard.
As of right now, we have 1 hour and 45 minutes before we need to leave for the convention. So I wanted you to have a little time off your feet. You have to change clothes. You need to eat a little dinner.
It's not enough time.
We know. It's not enough. That's tomorrow's video.
It's not
direct to camera.
Does the second thing? 5 minutes. All sit down on stage left. And then we raise our hands and hang around the stage a little bit and walk off, right? Okay.
We're going to show you the podium just back, just so the press can get it.
Sure.
There, Delaware, right here.
Are you exhausted yet?
I'm a little sleepy, but then I wake up and I get started.
Give her a high five.
All right! You made it! Then I get that second and third win.
What's that make it to?
It's a park! That matters. He didn't know? Go, run, be free, play in the park. All right, we're moving on. Good morning! Man, isn't this is the best thing to be doing at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? Being out in the sun in a park doing some service, this is a good thing. It's not just getting the goodies in the package that means a lot to the troops, it's the notes.
In a nutshell, I thanked for our soldiers to help me feel like I'm in really good hands and for every day that we're safe in America, and I just want to let them know that I'm doing as much as I can, even though I know it can't match like what they've done just to help our nation.
I can't stand still, I get in trouble here.
Thanks for being here, for supporting veterans.
Thanks so much. Hi, little cute man, and your dad. How are you?
That impressive.
I'll come back to you. I'm going to win you over. Nice to see you. Thanks for bringing them out.
All in favor of the motion to suspend the rules and nominate by acclamation Barack Obama as the Democratic Party's presidential candidate, please say aye. 2/3 of the delegates having voted in the affirmative, the motion is adopted.
Please join me in welcoming my friend, my father, my hero, the next Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden.
My dad used to have an expression. He'd say, a father knows he's a success when he turns and looks at his son or daughter and know that they turned out better than he did. I'm a success. Bowie, I love you. I'm so proud of you. After the accident, my mom, she told me, she said, Joey, God sends no cross that you cannot bear. And when I triumphed, my mother was quick to remind me it was because of others. My mother's creed is the American creed. No one is better than you. Everyone is your equal, and everyone is equal to you.
So this will be the point you'll leave when you take your first steps out to stage. This will be
all right, so I'm going right out here.
Yep. This will be when the video ends. Be straight out here.
What's that?
At some point there'll be a little confetti and pyro around the stadium tops and stuff like that.
Afterwards, you're going to be back here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to greet you and the girls. We're going to walk down together.
Nice hookup for the party. Whose iPad are we going to be using? Malia's? Malia's? Little Jonas Brothers?
All right, we got another secret. So I'm going to be on Ellen next week. Special guests.
Jonas Brothers?
Taking the girls. They're not in school.
That's
you
big.
have to be. But I'm not going to tell them to.
Don't tell them at all. No. But particularly because
that's why when you were saying,
I've got a bet with Malia. You know, because she's been talking about how when she sees her Jonas Brother favorite, what's his name?
Nick.
When she sees Nick, how she's going to be all sophisticated. I've said, Malia, I will bet you $5 that you will stammer and not have anything to say when you see Nick. So she's all, no. Well, I mean, I'm sure I'll say, you know, I'm a really big fan, and you know, she's all, you know, Malia, acting all sophisticated. I'll be, you know, I really enjoy his music. I'll be all, you won't say that. You'll be like,
They've got a $5 bet.
So we got a $5 bet. I won't really take her money.
That's good of you.
Biden is coming right after you. I think they're trying to hold right now.
tell by the front.
I know, that's what we said.
How are the girls?
They're having a ball. They're at the aquarium, the art museum. They're partying hard. Sleepovers, bowling, dance parties. Well, we've done our parts.
Yeah, hey, yeah, you guys are good.
You did your part, kid, and no one's gonna follow it.
Like, am I nervous? Nope, I'm not.
On page 2, where it says, what does it really say about your judgment when you think George Bush? You see that? Paragraph 3, 3 from the bottom. Let's say George Bush has been right, rather than was right.
Yes, sir.
Rolling back. Yeah. Hey, 2. There you go. Yeah. Hey, 2. Not too much. What's the difference between there and
Tie okay? Decided to go with red. Everybody's now imitated us with blue.
Okay.
Know anything?
I like red. I like
red. I want to make sure that
it's like pink. I like
to a country weary of the politics of division and deadline.
Yeah. I think I gotta go with blue.
Do you like that blue or like this? Do you like that blue or like this?
I think it's dark blue. This one right now.
recognize ourselves and each other?
30 seconds.
Make sure that opportunities are there. Not just some people, but for all of us. And that's the country I believe in. That's what's worth fighting.
Go get him, boss. You got it. With profound gratitude and great humility, I accept your nomination for presidency of the United States. All across America, something is stirring. Change happens because the American people demand it, because they rise up and insist on new ideas and new leadership, a new politics for a new time.
Mit dem Wahlsieg von Barack Obama sehen sich die Vereinigten Staaten umfassenden Erneuerungen gegenüber. Mit den Plänen für eine bessere Bildungspolitik sollen auch farbige und sozial Schwächere gezielt unterstützt werden. Die Vergünstigungen für kleine Unternehmen und Start-ups sollen Firmengründungen und neue Arbeitsplätze bringen. Die Weichen für ein neues Amerika sind gestellt.